India's mission Kabul has entered its second phase. It started on the 16th of August, and in the week that has followed, at least 6 evacuation flights have rescued nearly 600 Indians from Afghanistan. 2 more flights are on their way to New Delhi as I speak, and several more are scheduled for this week. India has also shut down all its consulates in Afghanistan. There were a total of 4. Mazar-e-Sharif, Jalalabad, Herat and Kandahar. They've all suspended operations. As for the Indian embassy in Kabul, all diplomatic personnel have been evacuated, but some local staff remains to coordinate the efforts. And here's what they claim the Taliban are doing. They're trying to reach out. Reports say that senior Taliban leaders have reached out to the Indian side with a request to retain India's diplomatic presence in Afghanistan. The request is said to have come from this man, Sher Mohammad Abbas Stanigzai. For those who don't know him, Stanigzai is one of the Taliban's 7 most powerful figures. He is also the head of the Taliban's political office. And here's something else that many may not be aware of. Stanigzai was once a cadet at the prestigious Indian Military Academy in Dehradun. This was during the 1970s when India was involved in training Afghan army officials. But after the Soviet-Afghan war ended, Stanigzai left the Afghan army. He took a radical turn and joined the Taliban in 1996. So what is he saying now? Here's what he has conveyed apparently to India. He said that the Taliban are aware of India's concerns regarding the security situation in Kabul, but that India should not worry about the safety of its mission or its diplomats. He has also rejected reports that Pakistani terrorists have entered Kabul and are present at checkposts set up by the Taliban. He said all checkposts, including those near the airport in Kabul, were and firmly remain in the hands of the Taliban. That's saying a lot. How has India responded to the request? By not taking it at face value. New Delhi has said that the evacuations will continue as planned because it can take no chances with its people and in dealing with the Taliban. It's a wise move, we say, because the worries for India are not limited to what happens inside Afghanistan. There's a lot on New Delhi's plate at the moment. The situation there also has a direct bearing on India's internal security, the situation in Afghanistan. The rise in extremism, the penetration of Taliban's ideology, the infiltration of weapons and the return of separatism in Kashmir are the biggest worries for India. As it is, some in India are already celebrating the Taliban's return as victory of their cause. In the last few days, we've seen provocative statements being made by Indian politicians and public figures congratulating the Taliban for their comeback. In the days to come, these radical elements and viewpoints could prove to be a security nightmare for India. So with these challenges in mind, India has begun preparing for the implications. It may start with Kashmir, where reports indicate that the centre is mulling a ban on the all-party Hurriyat conference. It's an alliance of 26 parties and organizations in Kashmir. They want to separate Kashmir from the rest of India. Now, reports say both factions of the Hurriyat, moderate and hardline, could soon be banned under the UAPA law. That's the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, UAPA. This ban will give security agencies the power to block the flow of funds to the Hurriyat and to arrest any Hurriyat member looking to create trouble. With the news tightening around the Hurriyat, there's another religious organization that could soon be put under the scanner. It's called the Darul Uloom Deoband. It's an Islamic seminary based in the town of Deoband, some 170 kilometers from New Delhi. The Taliban follows the Deobandi school of Islam. It's a version of Islam that emanated from this town, Deoband. It evolved into different branches in Pakistan. It first emerged in 1866 as part of a revivalist movement that was sweeping British India. The Darul Uloom, which preaches this form of Islam, has no direct connection with Deobandi schools in Pakistan. Let me underline that. But the Deobandis in Pakistan did receive religious training from India during the Soviet occupation of Afghanistan. Now, this historical connection still haunts the Indian group. The government of Uttar Pradesh is planning to set up a unit of India's Anti-Terrorism Squad or ATS in Deoband. The UP government says this decision has been taken in light of the Taliban's return and due to fears that it would try to radicalize Deobandis living in India. So a week since the Taliban's return to power, India is doing all it can to safeguard its interests and people. It is bringing Indian citizens back to safety. It is preparing to deal with the implications of the Taliban's comeback, and it is strengthening its security mechanisms to counter any immediate or long-term threat. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.